What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the show. As always, I'm Sebastian Volkov, your god of horror. And today, in our Horror by Country series, we're taking a trip to the Philippines and 5 of their top, most terrifying urban legends. Number 1, the Lone Passenger. The story starts with a lone passenger, a girl who rode on a jeepney late at night in the province where the only source of light is a little bulb behind the driver, constantly flickering with a yellowish hue, and the driver's headlight lighting a narrow path on the road, while darkness lurks on every corner. With no noise but the wheels of the jeepney on the uneven ground, she sat near the edge of the jeepney where she becomes startled because of the driver occasionally glancing at her through the rearview mirror. He kept on staring at her as her stop was almost nearing. When she told the driver to drop her off here instead, the driver just glanced at her and kept on driving. The girl feared the evil plans the driver had in store for her, but after a while, the driver suddenly stopped and told her to get out and burn her clothes. In confusion, she asked why, and the driver told her that there was a girl sitting next to her with long black hair covering where her face should be. He only stopped driving after she disappeared. He told her to burn her clothes because the girl might be following her, and burning it will stop the ghost from doing so. In other versions of the story, they share that when the driver looked at the passenger through the rearview mirror, he saw the passenger was headless, and told her to burn her clothes because it was a sign of death, an omen. 2 things are for sure though. 1, don't buy expensive clothes, just in case. And 2, be kind to jeepney drivers because they might just save your life. Number 2. The Headless Priest. The story starts with a student and her best friend wandering the campus at night. Their campus was a religious school owned by priests during the colonization period. As the girls were walking and laughing, they saw a figure come out from afar. Barely recognizable, but it was still there. At first they thought nothing of it, but as the figure slowly walked in a slow, patternized haze towards them, they realized that there was something off about the person coming towards them. They were wearing a priest's clothes. They just couldn't tell what it was exactly. That was until her best friend screamed and pointed at the figure. It had no head. The girls stood paralyzed, as they also realized that the headless priest was holding something on its right hand. It was his head. He walked closer and closer until they couldn't take it anymore and ran away. After they were at a safe distance, they looked back and saw no one there. In other versions of the story, they say that it was in a cemetery, hospital, or other creepy places in the Philippines. And when they saw the headless priest, it had no head in its right hand. It just kept coming towards them. As the girl ran out of shock, she looked beside her and realized her best friend was not with her. When she looked back, the priest was carrying something in its right hand then. And it was a head, but not his. It was her friend's. Number 3. The Endless Road. The story starts with a spoiled boy who bought salt for his mother and was heading home. In the province, people rarely go out at night, and that night was no exception. As the moonlit road was the only source of light for the kid aside from the houses he would occasionally pass, he began to realize that he was seeing the same house and the same path, again and again. At first, he just thought that he was just having deja vu. But after a while he realized that it didn't take him this long to get back to his house, so he begins to feel lost. The boy keeps going, on and on, met only with the smell of burning cigarettes and seeing a large dark figure in the tree line. He was taken by supernatural elements and was toyed with in a circle forever. Some say it was because he was a naughty boy, and he was punished by the Agta, large man who is said to dwell in the trees, in the forest for ranting about the simple task. In other versions, they tell of a happier ending for the boy, where all he had to do was turn his clothes inside out to escape the repetition. Number 4. The Injection. This story is about a woman who rode on a jeepney in the middle of the afternoon, with a lot of people riding with her. It was a normal day, and this was her usual route and routine. She placed her arm on the window ledge of the jeepney and just let the wind brush her face as the jeepney continued its path. When the jeepney stopped, she saw vendors on the streets selling water bottles, children singing and begging for loose change, and a man just standing outside on the edge of the street staring at her. At first she thought nothing of it, so she just looked away. When she had paid the driver for her ride, a hand grabbed her arm, and when she looked at who grabbed her, it was the man holding an injection, inserting the needle into her arm and pushing the fluid into her, just as quick as everything happened. That is also how quick the man ran away. She went to the hospital and the results showed that she had acquired AIDS. Other versions of the story were done in a cinema or a bar that don't even include a man, just something as simple as a syringe and the needle pointing out from a seat or something nearby that happens to stick into her. Me, personally, this is almost less of an urban legend than it is kind of a beware of your surroundings and other people, because they do some really fucked up shit for no real reason. Number 5. The My Way Curse. So this one almost borders on true crime, because there are actually a lot of reports of this happening and a lot of messed up shit involving it. If you don't know, My Way is a song by Frank Sinatra, and this is a really twisted take on it. Over the past decade or so, something sinister has come up in this song when it's sung at karaoke bars, or any cafe or restaurant that sings it. You pick the song and you start to sing it, but once you do, you unleash hell. Not only is the song not exactly in your voice when you're singing it, but many incidents all over the Philippines were caused because of this song. One incident was on how when someone was singing the song, a police officer drew a revolver. Thousands of killings have apparently occurred because of the song being sung, and many have removed it from their karaoke machines. So, try and search for it if you want to in the Philippines. If you're there, just don't fucking sing it, apparently. Could be your ass. It's said to be evil because of the lyrics provoking a malevolent version of you, or maybe because, in the Philippines, karaoke is always partnered with alcohol, and, bad singing never really ends well for anyone. And that is our top 5 urban legends from the Philippines. If you've not already, you can check out, my YouTube channel or my podcast anywhere that you find it, wherever you're hearing this, watching this, and check out all the other shit that I've done in the Horror Backcountry series, or watch me play some kind of spooky game. But anyway, thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the next video or podcast, whatever. Bye-bye.